Hi, I'm Marjorie Drucker, and I am so happy that you're here with me today because we are making, without a doubt, one of my most favorite foods in the world, and it's gazpacho. There is nothing more refreshing. It's comfort food for the summertime. It's refreshing. It's loaded with fruits and vegetables, at least the one that we're going to make today. Because gazpacho is it's classically a cold Spanish soup. It's made with tomatoes and cucumbers and garlic and fresh herbs. But I have kind of taken a few liberties with gazpacho recipes at New England Soup Factory. I have created recipes using a watermelon and lychee. I do a nectarine and raspberry. So today I'm going to do a strawberry with yellow tomato. And it's savory, but at the same time, it's really fruity. It is so passion-filled that by the time you get done watching me make this, you will find that you have to run out and buy the ingredients and make it yourself. And I promise you, it will be the most delicious thing that you ever eat. So we're going to start by cutting up the fruit first. And this is good too because you can use the more stronger ingredients like onions and garlic. You can cut later, so it's a good idea to cut the fruit first. So I have some beautiful strawberries, and usually what I do is I slice them first. So we start with our strawberries, and I've actually cut some up ahead of time because you need a lot of strawberries. You're actually going to use about 2 pounds of strawberries. So I'm going to carefully, and you have to be really gentle the way you handle the fruit because you don't want it to bruise. So I'm going to start with a couple of pounds of strawberries. Now we're going to add a pineapple. And it's so hard when you buy pineapples because you always want to find the perfect pineapple. And I don't like guessing games. I want to know it's perfect, it's delicious, it's sweet, it's juicy. So I pay a little extra, but I'll buy a golden pineapple. And as you see from the outside, it's very yellow. When you see a pineapple that looks very green, you'll know that it will probably be very white inside. So there's no guessing games. It's going to be perfect every time. So I take the top and the bottom off of the pineapple. And then we just are going to take the skin off, the rind, and just go around the pineapple just like this. And as you can see, it's a nice yellow pineapple. There's nothing worse than a white pineapple. So I'm going to take a piece of the pineapple. That's the core right in there, and we're not going to use that. And I'm going to cut a few horizontal slats. And then I'm going to go vertically. So I'm going to add this pineapple into our mix. Okay, so in this bowl, we have chopped fresh strawberries and pineapple. This will be the fruit base to this soup. And what we're going to start with first is we're going to macerate the fruit. We're going to use some really good, fruity, rich, very full-flavored olive oil. And then we're going to add some salt to the pineapple and to the strawberries. Some freshly ground black pepper. And we're going to add a little bit of garlic. But you know, when you buy fruit salsas, a lot of times you'll find that they're savory. This is kind of similar to that in respect that you're using things like salt and vinegar and garlic, yet you're using fruit. But it's a beautiful mixed marriage. Okay, so now we're going to let this macerate. This is the first step to our gazpacho. So remember I told you that classic gazpacho is a cucumber and tomato soup. So I decided to use yellow tomatoes. And the nice thing about the yellow tomatoes too is that they're not as acidic as red tomatoes. And these are English cucumbers. They're those big, long, beautiful, skinny cucumbers, and they're not as seedy as regular, conventional cucumbers. So I used about 2 really large English cucumbers. And to this, we're going to add some scallions. And this is going to give it crunch, it's going to give it bite, it's going to give it the beautiful sweet hit of onion. So we will add our onions into that. And truthfully, that wasn't enough. That was 1 bunch. I want 2 bunches. And the onion will really, it's so interesting to taste the onion against the fruit. So we have our scallions, we have our yellow tomatoes, we have our English cucumber, and now we're going to add some yellow peppers. So normally gazpacho, maybe it has green peppers or red peppers, but I decided I wanted to use yellow. We're going to use the same method. We're going to add this gorgeous, fruity, beautiful olive oil. Only use extra virgin, only. And we're going to add some more garlic because I love it. I mean, this is garlicky, but you know, also, if you've ever had, this is a great soup to entertain with. So if you've ever had company over and you're planning a party and the day comes and you're praying that it's warm and sunny, and I'm going to add some salt, and the day shows up and it's warm and sunny except that it's 97, you serve something like this, it makes your guests really comfortable. I'm going to add some black pepper, and we're going to add a spice that I really love, and I always add it to gazpacho, and that's ground coriander. And now we're going to add a little drizzle of some really rich and fruity, beautiful balsamic vinegar. That's going to give it a little bit of tang. So this is almost like, you see, it's like a vegetable salad. That's gazpacho. Gazpacho is a poser, you know. It tries to act like a soup, but really it's a liquefied salad. So, you know, you can call it soup, and it is, but I think it's a Bloody Mary on steroids, personally. So now we're going to take some nice juicy limes. Hopefully they'll be juicy inside. And we're going to add some fresh lime juice to these veggies. So now we have pretty much all of our ingredients, but I'm going to add one of my favorites, which is a little habanero pepper. So the habanero peppers, they come as these little Scotch bonnet, little habaneros. We put them on a grill, and then we put them in the food processor, and we grind them up to this paste, and then we store them either in white vinegar or champagne vinegar. You can't not be excited about what I'm making right here. It is so stellar. It's like a big trifle. Doesn't it look like a big trifle? I'm having so much fun just even mixing it. Okay, so now we're going to add the juice to it. So V8 makes a wonderful vegetable juice, but they also make some really interesting fruit juices that aren't sickly sweet. I like the tropical flavored juice that they sell. They have mango, they have guava. This is a tropical one. And I'm going to add this. It's like a big punch bowl. And now we're going to add in regular tomato juice. Okay, now's the point where we want to add a little bit of fresh herbs. So I have some really nice cilantro, and I have some really nice fresh basil. And I'm going to just chop these up. So we're using fresh basil and fresh cilantro. So we have our fresh herbs in there. Now, typically in gazpacho, you add a little bit of breadcrumb. It helps to give it a little texture. So we're going to do the same thing. And we're just going to add a little bit of breadcrumb. You don't need a lot, maybe just about a quarter to a half a cup, and it will give it nice texture. I'm going to take a little bit of this soup and I'm going to blend it in the blender. What this will do, it will infuse some of the flavors and it will give great texture to the gazpacho. So I took about a quart of the gazpacho and I put it in the blender. And I hit blend for about 5 to 6 seconds. That's really all you want to do. You don't want to puree it, you just want to infuse the flavor. And this is what it will look like. You can see how this look differs from the look in there. So now we'll just combine a little bit of this chopped up gazpacho. And this is pretty much our recipe. But now the most important thing we're going to do is, again, we have to taste it. The last thing I like to add is a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Like when you make a Bloody Mary, you add a little Worcestershire. This will give it a wonderful little kick. Okay, so now we're at the point where we just want to taste it, make sure we did a great job. It's heavenly. I want to add a tiny bit more salt to it. I want to add a little bit more heat to it. But I think we're done. So here it is. This is our strawberry yellow tomato gazpacho. We have these in these cute little glass cups. I've done it in demi-tasses before. It's a great first course on a hot summer's day. It is truly intoxicating.